Hey everyone, we need to talk about something that's quietly taking over the world's money. I'm talking about artificial intelligence, and it has way more control over the global economy than you probably think.
So let me just kick this off with a pretty wild question. What if the global economy wasn't controlled by humans anymore? Sounds like something out of a movie, right? Well, it's not. Because that sci-fi scenario, it's kind of already here. Right now, something like 70 to 80%, yeah, you heard that right, of all market transactions are done by automated software, not people. The machines are already calling a lot of the shots. For forever, economists have talked about the invisible hand of the market, this idea of natural supply and demand. Well, that hand is being replaced. We're now dealing with a new digital hand, and this hand is made of code. It's algorithms that are now pushing and pulling our economy. Okay, so how did this even happen? How did we get to a point where we handed over the keys to the financial kingdom? Well, that brings us to our first section, Rise of the Machines. And the simple answer is AI was just a better solution for our very human flaws. Just look at the difference here. You've got your human trader. They're slow, they can only process so much info. And let's be honest, they get emotional, they panic, they get greedy. Then you have an AI. It's making decisions in milliseconds. It's crunching data sets that a human couldn't get through in 100 lifetimes. And it's all based on cold, hard logic. It's not just an upgrade, it's practically superhuman. And this isn't some far-off future thing. This tech is already the backbone of our financial system. We're talking about high-frequency trading firms making millions of trades before you've had your morning coffee. Giant companies like BlackRock use AI to manage trillions of dollars. And it's closer to home, too. It's what detects that weird charge on your credit card. It's used to predict recessions. It even helps stop money laundering. Seriously, it is everywhere. But, and this is a big but, this amazing solution has created a brand new problem. And it's a dangerous one. So let's get into our next section, collusion by code. This is where we find a ghost in the machine, a ghost that nobody programmed to be there. This ghost has a name, algorithmic collusion. And you gotta wrap your head around this because it's wild. It's when AIs from competing companies start, colluding. They learn on their own to coordinate prices, usually making things more expensive for you and me. And here's the kicker, no human told them to do it. There's no shady phone call, no secret meeting. The algorithms just figure out that working together is better for their bottom line, all by themselves. So how is that even possible? Well, we're not talking about simple if-then code here. These things use machine learning and deep learning to sift through insane amounts of data, find patterns, and then they evolve. They create their own strategies to make the most profit. They were built to learn, and it turns out one of the first things they learned is that teamwork pays better than competition. And the fallout from this is pretty serious. This unintended teamwork can really mess things up. It can make markets less liquid, it can distort what things should actually cost, and it can silently stamp out the very competition that's supposed to keep prices fair for all of us. Okay, so that's the quiet, sneaky risk. But what happens when these algorithms don't just get too smart? What happens when they just fail spectacularly? Well, that brings us to the next part, the catastrophe. And this isn't a hypothetical. This really happened. Let's go back in time. May 6th, 2010. On that day, Wall Street and the whole world, really, got a front row seat to just how fragile our new automated system could be. In just a few minutes, $1 trillion of market value vanished. Poof, gone. $1 trillion. Think about that. The speed of it, the sheer scale. Nobody had ever seen anything like it. It was terrifying. So what on earth happened? Well, it wasn't just one thing going wrong. As one researcher put it, it was a cascading failure. The best way to think about it is like dominoes. One algorithm panicked, which caused another algorithm to panic, which then set off hundreds, even thousands more, all in a chain reaction that happened in less time than it takes to snap your fingers. And the first domino, the thing that started this $1 trillion meltdown, it was a single, big sell order placed by one algorithm that had a tiny little flaw. It just didn't take into account how other machines might react. It was like a tiny crack in a massive dam, and the whole thing just burst. Which, of course, leads us to the final and maybe the most troubling part of all this. We've built these incredibly powerful, world-changing systems, But who's actually in control? And the answer is, well, it's really complicated. And it's all because of something called the black box problem. So here's what the black box problem is. These AIs get so complex that they start making decisions that, well, we can't fully understand. Even the developers who built them can't always explain the why behind a specific action. We see the decision, but the reasoning is locked inside a black box.
And you can imagine this is a total nightmare for anyone trying to regulate this stuff. How do you make rules for something you don't understand? It moves faster than any human can possibly follow. If an AI goes rogue and crashes the market, who's to blame? The user? The programmer? Is anyone to blame? These things are learning and changing every single second, way faster than we can write laws. It's a huge problem.
So that leaves us right back where we started, with a pretty chilling reality. We now live in a world where autonomous code is managing huge chunks of the planet's wealth, which forces us to ask that final question one more time. When the algorithms control the money, who exactly is controlling the algorithm?